911, what is the address of the emergency?
158 Sunnyside Road.
What's the telephone number you're calling from?
I prefer not to give it.
I'm showing 610-5810, is that correct?
No comment.
Okay,
Now,
what's the problem there? Tell me exactly what happened.
okay, Galambado took the order, and I forgot to tell her that there's 2 residences at 158 Sunnyside.
Alright, am I speaking to Glendora, Folsom?
Yes, dear. And there's...
Right, hold on while I transfer you back down to state police, okay, ma'am?
Yes, thank you, dear.
State Police to Recoke. Hi, State Police, Columbia 911. I've got Glendora Folsom on the line with us in regards to the complaint at 158 Sunnyside Road in Stuyvesant at 1K21 Family. Sunnyside Road, she's on. Okay, and what's your name? I'm speaking with State Police.
Yes, thank you. Officer,
Yes.
I neglected to say there's 2 residences at 158 Sunnyside Road. I'm the first one, the 3rd driveway in from Route 9.
Okay, first residence, third driveway?
Yes, I'm the 3rd driveway on the left as you come off of Route 9.
Third driveway on left.
Yes, and yes, and the person who well, whatever you want to call it, he is the 4th driveway.
Okay.
Okay, I didn't make that.
Give me your name, please.
Glendora Folsom.
Glendora
Folsom, yes.
Your phone number, please.
No.
How do you spell your last name? F-U-L-S-O-N?
No, dear, close. No cigar. F-O-L-S-O-M.
Folsom?
Okay, F Frank, O, L, S Sam, O, M, Mary?
Right, that's what I said.
No, you said...
That was what I said the first time.
No, you didn't. You said Folsom, F-U-L. Okay.
Okay, try it again then.
Okay, F Frank, O, L, S Sam, O, M, Mary.
Okay.
Okay.
Instead of a U, it's an O.
That's right, dear.
Okay.
So...
Your phone number, please.
No phone number. And you,
Whoa, what do you mean no phone number?
I
If
prefer...
you're calling me somehow, what is your phone number?
I'm not giving it to you.
You have to give me your phone number if you're complaining, ma'am.
State your chapter and verse, state your statutory authority on that. I don't think you're right.
Most definitely. How do you expect us to get back in contact with you if this phone call should become disconnected?
Here comes a trooper, sir.
What's that?
Here's a trooper here. I'm glad to see him. Let me tell you, I'm scared. Come in, gentlemen.
Can I have your phone number, please?
No.
You're not going to give me your phone number?
I think we said that already, and I told you to state the statute. But wait, I'll get you later.
Hi there.
Am I glad to see you?
Hi.
I'm scared. Officer, may I hang up, please?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. I didn't get his name.
Who is it?
Oh, I didn't get it.
Okay. Was it?
I'm sorry, but I am so glad to see you. I could hug you.
So what's the problem?
I've never been scared like this before. I'm sitting here doing my work. My garage door opens.
Yep.
And that scares me. Another camera. I want to make sure that these jot tots get down. I have to feed Amadeus and I have to feed little .com. And where is poor little Sebastian? I am worried about poor little Sebastian. You want chocolates, honey? That's something different. On Friday, February 1st. Remember January 1st? And Lisa? Why are people so bad, God? It must discourage you so. People are so bad, you give them so much, and look at the way they behave. Over here, honey. Can you make it over here? And I'll put some... Yeah, poor kitties. Well, we're going to move from here. I don't want anything to do with somebody like that. I'm glad to move. Okay. So we have to stop everything and put that first, right? Yeah. Stop and put that first. A madman. What a Jekyll and a Mr. Hyde. Now, you kitties want... Oh my goodness, it's gone already. These poor kitties were hungry. Yeah. Poor Sebastian. What happened to Sebastian? I haven't seen Sebastian this morning. I haven't seen her since last night, January 31st. I'm leaving. I don't want to live here with that madman. Okay. Back to work, I guess. But keep it going. Okay? I've lost the careful generator. And I've lost the signal. And nobody else is recording, so that's okay.
Would you please find it, pick it up, and turn, if you would, to our study together in the New Testament epistle of Ephesians. Found in the New Testament, Paul is writing to the church at Ephesus back in the 1st century. We've been looking at this book now for several weeks, months, and we find ourselves today in Ephesians chapter 3. So I would invite you to turn in your Bibles to Ephesians chapter 3.
I have to do 5 finals. Think we can do it? I don't know. That's my job. I'd better do it. There's 5 stonuses. So that was Carol. Did you get a copy of that, sweetie? No, you're doing great. We got some backup cameras going too. Okay, now let's see if we can finalize on 5. 5? Yes. 4 half hours and 1 hour. Now I think it's all connected. Take this out, put it way up here, the monitor. This signal goes from here up to here. And this signal has to go from here to here. Okay. So what do you think? You think we can finalize? Oh boy, that looks good.
just how did symmetry become so very important in physics? Well, I think it's worth taking some time to sketch the answer, to sketch the history of symmetry in physics. Now, of course, the idea of symmetry as an aesthetic concept or a property of geometric shapes, that idea goes back to antiquity. But we have a more modern, general view of symmetry. For us, a symmetry is a transformation that leaves something unchanged. Well, let's put it in terms of this course. A symmetry is a transformation of a system. A system is a geometrical figure or a physical situation or the whole universe. Anyway, it's a transformation of the system such that it is impossible to tell whether or not the transformation has been applied. The transformed system is identical to the original. Now, this general idea of symmetry dates to the 19th century. And in the 19th century and since then, lots of brilliant mathematicians have been developing a rigorous mathematical theory of symmetry, what mathematicians call group theory. But also, in the late 19th century, some physicists began to take notice and to apply that concept of symmetry to physics. And the first physicists to do so were the crystallographers. Now, crystallography is the study of the structure and properties of crystalline solids. Now, what's a crystalline solid? What's a crystal? Well, in a crystal, the atoms in the material are arranged in a regular spatial order. They're stacked in perfect rows and ranks. And such an arrangement of atoms is an arrangement with a great deal of order and also a great deal of symmetry. Because it's much easier to cleave the crystal along a plane of atoms. And so the visible shape of the cut crystal will also have symmetry. And it will have smooth facets and edges, and those smooth facets and edges will reflect the underlying atomic arrangement. The shape, the visible shape of the crystal will reflect the underlying symmetry of that arrangement. So back in the 19th century, crystallographers began to realize that only certain symmetries are actually possible in three-dimensional space. Only certain regular arrangements of atoms are possible. And therefore, some crystal shapes that we might imagine are in fact impossible. So three dimensions are hard to think about. Let's think about a two-dimensional analogy. Let's suppose we're tiling our bathroom floor with regular geometric shapes, squares or triangles or something. So let's put down the tiles and let's focus on the corners, the vertices, where several of the tiles come together. Now, the angles of all the tiles that meet together at one of these corners, one of these vertices, the angles must add up to 360 degrees. So here's a question. Could you have 3 tiles meet at each corner? Sure. Your tiles would be hexagons, regular hexagons. Each hexagon corner has a 120-degree angle, and so 3 of those corners add up to 360 degrees. All right, could you have 4 tiles meet at each corner? Well, that's easy. Your tiles could be squares. Each square corner has a 90-degree angle, so if you put 4 of them together around one of the vertices, they add up to 360 degrees. How about 6 tiles meeting at the corners? Well, you could use equilateral triangles. Each corner of an equilateral triangle is 60 degrees. 6 of them meeting together would form 360 degrees. All right, could you have 5 tiles meet at each corner? The answer is no. Could you have 7 tiles distributed throughout the classroom? Why? Well, actually, it is just a matter of probability. It could happen that the air molecules could gather in one corner, but the probability is really, really small. I do not suddenly pass through the floor and find myself in the room below. Why? Actually, it's just a matter of probability. I could pass through by quantum tunneling, but the probability is really, really small. The laws, many of the laws anyway, are really based on probability. The impossibilities are really statistical impossibilities. So to the two major themes of physics, the ones we mentioned first, symmetry and information, we must add probability to the list. And perhaps someday we will find that all of the laws of nature are probabilistic. All of the laws are of this kind. Perhaps we will find when we really dig down deep, all of our certainties will dissolve.
Well, I thank God for how long it lasted. It was nice. Over now. It's over now. But it was nice. Thank you. I think I'll go to bed. Let's turn down this system, okay? Yes, and give it a rest, definitely. You've done enough today. And we'll see what answers God puts forth in the morning. And thank you very much for everything. And the phone is... Okay. Want the phone on? I better leave it on, I guess. Okay. Okay, you've done a great job. I know in the morning they've got to do DVDs. Thank you for such a nice day. Thank you for Victoria. Thank you that we did Stonus. We're going to change your cameras, okay? Because this one doesn't have battery, and this one might. Okay. What time do you go to bed? Oh, sometime way after 1 o'clock. Because of fear that deranged Fitzgerald would come back here. And because of being so upset with it. And see, I videotaped her out until the time I went to bed, right? 1:15. Okay, and that SD of 1:15 is being put on the DVD. And this one is also here. Oh, look, it's the police. Oh, it's good. It's really good. Police. Okay, that's a good video. So make sure you get that down onto that DVD. And this one is recording what's happening today. What's happened this morning is up, practice the museum, feed the kitty cats, wash the bathroom floor. Now, I'm going to tell Bruce. Bruce, it's Glendora.
What's that?
It's Glendora.
No.
Oh, excuse me. Bruce, I'm sitting in my little happy house, doing videos last night at 7:15 p.m. and it's dark and I hear out my garage door being open.
You're kidding.
No. And so I'm scared, but I better go out and see what's going on. So I went out and I said, hello. Hello, hello, hello,
Yeah.
And then out of the garage, and by the way, a truck is in the driveway with the lights on and the motor running, and out comes Brian Fitzgerald, who is the person who bought Mr. Schoonover's property, he and his wife Christine.
Okay.
And he says to me, very roughly, like a caveman. He says, I want you out of here by 2 p.m. tomorrow.
What?
Yeah. And then Bruce, he comes to the door, my door where I'm standing, and he starts coming into the place. And I
my goodness.
And I put out my hand, my left hand with all 5 fingers spread out, and I put him
in jail for that.
Well, yeah, and more. And I put my hand out, my 5 fingers straight out, and my arm straight out, and he walked into it. His chest walked on into it.
Oh.
And he says, that's assault. He says, you assaulted me, and he went by me, Bruce. He pushed me aside, he went by me.
Oh my gosh.
He says, I've got to assess this place. He walks down to the bathroom and looks into the bathroom. And then he says, I own this place, and I says, you may own it, but I have possession of it.
Wow.
And then
you could have him thrown in jail.
Yeah, that's right. And so and he's going out. He said,
and entering, harassment, everything.
Yeah. To say nothing of not being a safe person to live in society.
Wow.
And so he said, I will, again, I think he said, I own this place. And I says, well, maybe so, but I have possession of it. He says, well, you haven't paid the rent. I says, yes, I paid the rent. I paid it to Mr. Schoonover, and he paid the rest of the month to you. He says, for what month? And I says, for January, because my rent is due on the 3rd of the month. And so I have, like, tomorrow. Tomorrow's the 3rd. And he says, you're lying. He says, you're a lying, mean old lady.
Wow.
And then he left. And I said, well, what, excuse me?
I said, what an evil person.
Yes, poor man. And so I said, well, I'm going to call 911. And he said, well, you go ahead. He said, did you get our letter? I said, what letter? He says, that's what I was afraid of. And so I go in and lock the door, and I call 911. And I said, yeah. And they said, what address is there, something, the problem is, whatever. And I said, 158 Sunnyside Road. And so I told them, and they asked me, they said, well, was he drinking or under? I said, I don't I saw no indication of that. Well, what did he look like? Well, he's has a very short crew cut, so they almost look